December of 2017, I decided to come out to the 3 people closest to me as asexual. Since then, I've done a lot of thinking about the idea of coming out as blank asexuality or gender identity, and if it's even really worth mentioning. Does it have to be a big thing that you're gay, non-binary, trans, etc.? Do you have to tell people about your sexual orientation or the pronouns that suit you best? And even more, I've been noticing pushback against the notion of coming out in general, that it's a great fuss over nothing. Well, I have some thoughts on these matters. First of all, as far as we've come in accepting LGBT plus identities, everyone is still heterosexual and cisgendered until stated otherwise. It's the base assumption. So unless you want everyone to assume false things about you, you have to come out as not default. We still live in a society here in the US at least where no one asks for your pronouns or who you're attracted to. People will always choose a pronoun based on what they think you look like, and if they think you might not be straight, they'll tiptoe around the subject as though they're playing sexuality operation. So yes, it does need to be stated that you're not cis or not heterosexual if you actually want your identity to be recognized. There's also an intimacy in letting those close to you know about these base facts, not feeling like you're concealing your true self or somehow lying by allowing them to default to thinking that you're cisgendered and heterosexual. It's like being comfortable enough with a person to not have to dress up in their presence, feeling comfortable in your own skin around those who matter. Not like what you are is a dirty secret to be only revealed to your lover, as though friendships and familial ties can't be deeply emotionally intimate as well. I specifically see asexuals and aromantics be told that they don't need to come out because no one needs to know their sex lives. It's also an around-the-back dismissal. You don't need to come out because ace isn't real enough to be worth mentioning. As stated in previous videos, being aromantic and or asexual is not about whether or not you want sex. Asexuality is a lack of sexual attraction and aromanticism is a lack of romantic attraction. You can be either or even both and still want sex. And even though you can argue aspec folk don't look aspec from the outside, well, you can say the same for a bisexual person dating the opposite sex. And going even further, this ties back into the desire I outlined above of wanting your loved ones to know you, not some assumed version that they've taken to. Now, I feel the need to point out, it's not absolutely necessary to come out. That's entirely a personal decision. There is a responsibility to be open with your significant other about your gender identity and your feelings on sex, but not for friends, lovers you don't intend on seeing anymore, or even family. They don't have to know if you don't want them to, and unfortunately, there's a lot of cases where it'd be a horrible idea to tell them. You don't have to look far to still find homophobic, transphobic, biphobic, basically any kind of sexual and gender-based bigot you can think of who has lashed out against a loved one for being not cis-straight. Kicking out, disowning, refusal to accept, corrective rape, forced conversion therapy, and much more. It's a nice thought that someone close coming out as an LGBT plus identity would turn the most prejudiced person to the side of acceptance, but that's not always the case. More likely, the bigoted parent, sibling, friend, lover will be set in their ways and make you the target of their wrath. You may want them to know who you are out of your love for them, but unfortunately, love is not enough to make evil people stop being evil most of the time. In fact, with people like this, their affections for you are so conditional that stepping out of their idea of you could be dangerous. I know I'm speaking in far more dire tones than normal, but I can't pretend that being open about your true self is always a good thing, especially in our current world. As much as we want to be known by certain people, it will cause more harm than good. Instead of seeking love from those who put outrageous conditions on it, find people who love you, not their assumptions about you. Surround yourself with those who won't attack you for being not normal. Those who would do so are not worth risking your safety and well-being for. Coming out doesn't mean everyone needs to know or deserves to know, but it also doesn't mean you should withhold it from those who've shown to be trustworthy and have earned the right to know you. Part of not being ashamed of your sexual and gender identity is being able to share it with those you cherish. And until the day when asking about your pronouns and sexuality is as natural as asking about your age or profession, it's still an important part of normalizing being something other than default. Hey there, back again from a very short break. YouTube doesn't really care about me or making sure that you see my videos, but if you happen to want to see my videos, check out this Discord invite link where you'll find a content stream of the things that I and my friends create, and also where you can talk to me in my NotAVampyre crypt. As always, you can always follow me at NotAVampyre. Thank you very much for consuming this video, and until next time.